My name is Haja. Briefly, to introduce myself, I started as a software engineer a long time ago, about 25 years ago. My Japanese boss very quickly told me I wasn't a very good software engineer. But she also then told me I was very good at solving business problems and project managing things. So that became the trajectory of my career. And in my last role, corporate job, I was head of data analytics and AI for a well-loved consumer business, about 3 billion plus and 16,000 employees. At the same time, I've also had some experience as a startup founder of two tech startups. So the unique perspective I can bring to you today is, in my career, I have not seen any other technology that is so accessible and affordable as AI. So I'm really excited for all of you because for the first time in at least my tech history, there is a technology which every business can access and transform its business. And that's what I aim to leave you with by the end of my presentation. McKinsey came up with this number. In the next 4 years, by 2030, AI would add 13 trillion, that's like 13,000 billion US dollar to the world GDP. I had to get my head around this number. It's so large. So one of my friends is actually in the consulting industry, and I spoke to him and I asked him the question, where is this $13 trillion going to show up? Well, his answer I kind of agree with. It's not going to show up in the big enterprises we know of today. Jeb already alluded to it, they're retrenching people. It is also not going to show up in the very small micro businesses. Where it's going to show up, it's the mid-market. The SMEs of today, which adopt AI and really transform their business from the customer backwards, those are the businesses which are going to benefit from this 13 trillion uplift in the GDP. As Jeb was saying, this is a competitive advantage, and the first movers create a unique advantage. With every other technology I've seen, you can wait and adopt. Like you wait for a product, a CRM, for example, to come out in the market. Over time, it reduces in price, you implement it. But with AI, already the accessibility is really good, but it has a unique advantage. As you train the AI and the agents on your data, it gets smarter and smarter. And I will show you an example as we go through the demos. So my AI journey started about 8 years ago, and I was leading a digital transformation and analytics team. About 4 years ago, at a Christmas dinner in London, I was speaking to an MD of a US business. This business sells cookies, basically, but in a very, very large scale, like billions of dollars. But the US business was really small, like hundreds of millions within the group. He was new into his job, and the MD was really concerned. The business had hit a revenue ceiling, and they were trying all sorts of things for the past few years. Nothing was helping to grow the business, take it to the next stage. In the US, the snacking business is very, very competitive. Some of the players, the smallest players are like $1 billion RSSs. And in this business, scale is the advantage. So how do you compete against such big business and grow your revenue to the next level? So I decided to partner with that particular MD and give him some support from the data analytics and at that time, we didn't call it the AI team, it was called as the advanced analytics teams. And we decided to build some machine learning models to help him predict the top 3 levers which will move the needle on his revenue and margins. And those 3 levers were pricing, getting the pricing right, getting the pack sizes right, and then getting the promotions right. So we built some machine learning models and brought it to the business team. In about 3 months' time, we realized it was a major flop into the work. It was a very humbling experience. We had put in top data scientists on the job, and we thought it's going to work. All the analytics, all the prediction engines, all the dashboards, it didn't work. So we did a bit of soul searching and we had to recover it. And breakthrough didn't come from the US. It came from a conversation I had with a finance director in the European market. She was extremely experienced. She had a 30 plus experience in the consumer industry, knew it inside out, knew all the numbers, what, little what. So I was explaining what we were going through, and she came up with this insight. She said, Haja, imagine standing at a supermarket aisle. Imagine you are behind one of our consumers who is going to pick up a cookie. And in her hands, she has our cookies and the competitor's cookies. She's going to make these decisions in split seconds. Is the price right? Is it being promoted? Is the promotion, am I attracted by the promotion? Is it the right size I'm going to buy? She's going to make this decision in microseconds. Imagine standing behind her, carrying that insight. If you can use AI and machine learning to come up with that insight, we would have solved this problem. And she was right. And she went on to add, imagine you being able to do that at scale, standing behind every consumer in a shopping aisle, being able to figure out what is going through their minds. We thought, excellent, that's how we need to solve it. We also realized we can't do it. We didn't have the technology, we didn't have the budgets or the people to do it. But there's some beauty about understanding what you need to solve for. When you figure out what you need to solve for, the solution finds you. We then realized a very brilliant German team based out of Cologne, Germany, came up with the exact same insights. And these guys are from ex-Google, and they had come up with a startup, exactly same insights to solve this problem. They call their technology the virtual shop at Milan. And when they pitched to do it, I immediately got it. Like, this technology was basically standing behind consumers virtually to figure out what they were going to do if we made a price change. So let's say you increase the price from $1 to $1.20. What is the consumer going to do? Traditionally, people use things like Excel, regression modeling, elasticity, or hiring expensive consultants. These guys work in that space. They had thought about it deeply. They had 25 million euros in funding from a blue chip VC. They built the model. When we saw it, we just grabbed it with both hands and implemented it in the US market, and it worked. It not only worked in the US market, and then it worked in the European market as well. The company name is Binomics. I'm an advisor to that company today. Previously, I was a customer, and now I'm an advisor to the business. In December, they just raised a further funding round of 30 million euros from really blue chip VCs. If you'd like, you can check out their URL. The biggest learning and reminder for me from that exercise, it is really not about the technology. It's really not about AI. It's really not about machine learning. It is about the insights. And that insight is already within your business. People who have worked many years in your business already have that knowledge, already have been thinking about it. When you take that and you apply AI to it, you come up with Ninja solutions wrappers. Now, I was speaking with Binomics VP of Clarity. They had a classical challenge. Now, it is a relatively complex product, and their sales cycle sometimes can be months, and with some of their larger customers it even takes years, because they have to educate a lot of their stakeholders. I'm sure many of you experienced that in your own sales cycle. As we were thinking through this is a classic situation. Here's a very cutting-edge AI company, and I know them because I know the technology. But when they are showing up, they were not really, this is new to them, they were not showing up as an AI business. They were still doing traditional sales, meeting after meetings, demos, to then convince people to understand. Once people understood it, They immediately then contacted with them, moved on to Haja. So this inspiration came from that conversation actually. What if we can help you show up as an AI company? Let me play you the demo and I will talk you through it. We built an AI-powered what we call a sales juice. What's happening here is after they come off a call, they have the transcript. So either through Microsoft Meetings or Teams or Fathom, you get the call transcript, and this is available to everybody today. You can record the call, you have the transcript. You take that transcript and you put it into this team of AI agents. So like Chat, this is not ChatGPT, it is a team of intelligent AI agents working together, and that is the reason we engineered it that way. What it's doing is it's pulling out the insights from the call real time. So objections or ideas or pricing discussed, next steps, and also any concerns. Immediately after that, it comes up with the next step presentation. So what somebody would have taken hours to do, it is able to customize it for that client immediately, almost within like 3 minutes. And in this case, you must be wondering what this language is. This wasn't actually a real call, and that client happened to be Turkish. So the presentation was adapted in English and Turkish immediately with the help of the AI agent. We just couldn't have done it before. So my kind of coaching to them was, next time you have these forms, make these customized presentations, and then within the same day send it out. Because that's when people are, fresh, it's fresh in their minds, whether it's a proposal or a follow-up presentation or even a contract, just follow it up immediately. That way you're probably more likely to get good quality feedback in terms of are they ready to buy or do they need more time, what needs addressing. That's just the beginning of the story. The engine that was running, actually, it is designed after a human team. We deliberately designed that. It's not like just ChatGPT. What we did was we trained the model as the sales director. So imagine this is the guru of sales. It understands all the levers that are required to move such a B2B sales forward. The other agent is a presentation writer, and these are deliberately kept separate. And the presentation writer uses a different algorithm. It is really good at structuring presentation, coming up with the content, coming up with the images and all of that. There's a third agent, it's like a neutral reviewer. So we created it like a human tree and made them work together, minus all the frictions that comes with the human team. And we trained it in such a way that it has to pass a certain score before it outputs the presentation. That's how we maintain the part. So between them, they maintain the quality control that way. In the early days when we were training it, the output wasn't great, but what just blew my mind within like weeks, because they are internally competing and they're getting fed more and more data, it just skyrocketed in terms of the quality. Now, what something like that do in your business? Think about where frictions are in closing sales and what the customer is really going through, your end customer, and how can you help that in terms of upgrading their knowledge or assisting them, giving them the right tailored knowledge to move your sales along. Last Thursday, I presented this tool to 30 students from a training provider in Birmingham. This company has a few thousand students. So when I say students, these are people who are reskilling themselves in technology like cybersecurity or AI or business analytics with the intention that they will get a new tech job. And the government is partly funding this training provider. They have around 25 teachers. These teachers actually develop as career coaches as well. So at the end of the 8 weeks program, These students have to, prepare a new updated CV. They have to write cover letters for every job they apply to. When we started working with them, we realized actually the AI agents can do that whole process in minutes, and that would just eliminate or remove so much job from the career coaches and allow them to focus on face-to-face interactions and really imparting wisdom to the students to get their next role. So let's see that in action now. So you can try this now. It's called applyinggenius.ai. It's one of our products. You can go to the website, you can register. What it first asks you to do is it will ask you to just upload any CV you have currently. So you can upload that. It will generate a profile for you. It will extract all information. Then you find a job description and copy and paste that into the tool. It will then give you a feedback. How do you compare versus this job? And do you want to optimize your resume for this? It will give you a bunch of recommendations. Now, after you say yes, it tailors the CV for you. And this CV is tailored particularly for their job. And we know that tailored CVs get people through into interviews significantly better than just generic CVs. It also gives you a cover letter, and what you see on the left is the application tracking system score. So if you are applying for any organization, they have this software which just reads these CVs before it's filtered through. When I tried this myself, what was a big time saver for me was the templates. So I'm not a Word expert. It takes me hours to fine-tune the Word document. The AI does it immediately. You can select any template. And it also shows you what is the before and after, how your CV looked before and how it is after. So you must be wondering what's the relation to this. The engine I showed you before, the sales presentation engine, and this engine is exactly the same. So underneath the hood, the body of the car is different, but underneath the engine is exactly the same. Here we have 3 different agents. Instead of sales director, we have the CV reviewer, we have the CV writer, and then we have another agent called the input processor. So you can build a small engine for your organization, start to train it on your data, and then expand those use cases horizontally into different functions. So hopefully those 2 examples gave you a flavor of the types of things that are possible today. But what really has blew my mind is it took us probably a few weeks to come up with the prototypes for this. And the cost, most of the coding was actually done by AI. And the cost is just minuscule compared to what we used to spend before on this. That has just changed my beliefs. This system is here today. This technology is here today. It's accessible. It is affordable for the first time. And when you apply it into the business value chain, you can get exponential. You can get 10x results. The proudest moment for me is which was a bit of an experiment. We took a very junior developer, and I coached him on the architecture. He had never coded with AI before. He had not even seen any of this. And what he's producing 2 months later just blows my mind. I'm so optimistic for what that would do to his career. And the training provider in Birmingham just came back yesterday. It's a fantastic feedback from the students. It's not just the functional aspect of improving their CVs. They were becoming a bit heartbroken because it is a tough job market, and just the not having to tailor those CVs again and again has given them a morale boost, right? So we believe in AI for good, and we use a framework, and Jed gave you a much bigger version of it. We figure out where the business value is. That's always the starting point. We can't pinpoint when we start exactly where the business value is, but we encourage our clients to come up with a number of use cases which are directionally right. Once you start working with these use cases, you start to learn. And I used to work for this CTO who was an early founder of Microsoft and Amazon. George used to tell us, you figure out what you need to build by actually building it, not by making PowerPoints. And that has served us very well at AI Level. Today, we launch pilots, we learn, we double down on the ones which are really making a difference. And other important thing is the training. So upskilling people, the example I gave you, it's amazing to see because the technology is so accessible. Your teams already have the business insights. They already know what problems to solve to take your businesses to the next level. If you empower them with some training, with some guardrails, they will come up with some amazing things. That's what we really try to help our clients with. Now, the best way to predict the future is to create it. So we don't know what AI is going to do, but we know that if we applied it, it's going to make a difference. And I'm sure many of you are already working on some amazing things, and we are always curious to connect with people to understand and learn from them as well. If you'd like to connect with me, the QR code is there. LinkedIn is where you can get me. Sometimes I do respond to the Nigerian princess's request. It's just big humor. Right, so thank you so much.